Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to episode 13 of my Satisfactory Let's Play. Now in the last episode, we were very busy indeed. I almost doubled our power output by adding 8 new coal generators, built a brand new quartz refinery, got myself a pair of spanky looking Blade Runners, used smart splitters for the first time, and also packed up and launched the space elevator to unlock Tier 5 and Tier 6. We've done a lot, but before we can really tackle the complexity of the tasks needed for oil processing, manufacturing, and rail transport, we have to lay the foundation so we can actually make that progress smooth and more manageable and more fun. So today, we're going to be starting work on overflow, power, and then building ourselves a motor factory. As per usual, on the right side of the screen, we have a to-do list of the things that we want to achieve in this episode and beyond sometimes. And the first one is going to be to build an explorer. So, in the MAM, in the quartz tree, we saw that we could get an explorer in the last episode. But people pointed out in the comments that the crystal oscillators required to actually get them can be crafted. So you need quartz, cable, and reinforced plating. And instead of having to make it in a manufacturer, we could just straight up make it on a crafting bench, which I've done. So I've made more than enough just for now. We'll just get researching that so we can get started. And then the other thing I want to do as well is finish off the tree for power slugs. We found our first purple power slug near to the quartz actually in the last episode. And we'll just research that as well. Got enough materials for it now. We were lacking modular frames last time. That's done as well. So our first tree is completed. We have the power slug tree 100%. Alright, now before we can actually build ourselves an explorer, we need another crystal oscillator, a motor, and a heavy modular frame. As you can see by the UI, I've gone ahead and just crafted a few of them just so we don't have to wait too long. But we can take a quick look at crafting each one for the first time. So here's our crystal oscillator. We get 2 out of it every time we make one, if that makes sense. And then we want to get ourselves a motor. So a motor is going to require rotors and stators. Now we're making all of these things. We could be kind of lazy and just go, hey, we want to unlock oil processing. Let's just bring all the motors and stators somewhere manually, put them in an assembler, and just wait until we get 50. That's not how we're going to do it. We're not going to take the easy way out. We're going to build an entire motor factory, but that's going to take about 700 megawatts of power, which we'll get to in just a moment. So, the other thing then would be the heavy modular frames. Requires modular frame, piping, encased beams, and screws. We only need one more to complete the set. We just needed to make 5, but they are a little bit tedious to make. And then in doing that, we can now make ourselves an explorer. Looking good. Alright, just really quickly, I'm just going to grab some AI limiters that have been building up in the background, and we're just going to jump off this and get set about on our way. So basically, while I was looking in between episodes of what we're going to do, I noticed in order to build a motor factory, we need about 700 megawatts of power. In order to do that, we just need to expand power yet again, so I really just can't do anything without getting a bit more power first. Now, I don't know really what's to come later down the line in terms of getting oil and how much power that adds and how long that would take, but I want to just expand coal one last time, hopefully last time, before then we push further, and that should give us what we need. So here we go, there's our Explorer, looking good. Let's just give it its own spanky new colors, swanky new colors. Let's make it somewhat colored to my channel. Anything like that? Blue and yellow, that's my trim. Yeah, looks alright. I wish the seating changed color. That'd be nice. Looks good, though. Alright, and we'll just open up the back. We'll toss in the biofuel. And that's basically it. So first thing done, build an explorer. So the next one is going to be venturing out, driving around to all of our factories, pretty much all of them, and adding overflow to them. A lot of people have been asking me since pretty much episode 1 or 2 to get more tickets for the awesome sync and build nicer looking factories, which I want to do, but I just don't really have any tickets. Actually, we do have a few upstairs. I just need to grab them really quickly. Just to have them in the inventory, because we're going to need as many as we can. So I think I put 3 away in a box up here. By the way, people were saying, you know, my test wasn't very foolproof with the Blade Runners, that I was a little unimpressed, rather unfairly. And I have to say, you're right. Definitely when you're jumping, you do go way further than you otherwise would. And I think people said it's like 50% faster, so it's obviously faster. It's just, I don't know what I was expecting. People were like, you gotta get Blade Runners, like, for so long, that I thought, like, this is gonna be massive when we do. And I was just like, oh, I don't really even notice that much of a difference. But definitely you do. You do. I was being a little coy. Alright, so we're going to go to the sulfur refinery, steel, caterium, copper, and then make our way all the way back up to the quartz refinery, adding resource sinks and awesome stuff so that we can get as many tickets as possible, and then just leave it in the background to generate tickets for us while we go ahead and build in the future. So let's begin. Let's take this thing for a spin. So we're going first out to the sulfur factory. Oh my god, look at this. It takes me back to my Motorstorm days. Shout out to the PlayStation 3. Motorstorm, one of my favorite games. Platinumed every one of them. Oh, the cinematics. So yeah, so basically I want to go to the sulfur factory first, because that's where we have compact coal. That might be a little bit better to use as fuel for a while. There it is right up there. And then the plan is to build a big motor factory right out here. But of course that's going to require us making a stator factory and a rotor factory inside of it. But there's 2 iron deposits there, and there's 2 just beyond that hill, just like over the edge of the cliff there. And there's also a copper deposit, limestone, and then of course we have coal up there. And we're making too much coal right now. So I'm going to feed that coal over and then combine it all into something like 60 constructors. Something like, I want to say, 12 or 13 smelters. Just a huge amount of stuff, at least for me. Whoops, sorry again. This always happens. Yeah, they'll be fine. It's probably the same guy as well as last time. Alright, up we go. So we were here before. This is our little sulfur factory. We pull sulfur up from here, send it straight up there, along with ourselves. And something I did off screen was I just made 2 industrial storage containers, and that is backed up. They're just totally full already. So what we're going to do is implement our smart splitters in order to create overflow and start sinking resources. Now this one might have to be a little bit manual. I want to kind of place it around here. So I might have to just empty my inventory and move some stuff out of the containers, because it'll just make things go a bit quicker. And I want to do this kind of quickly. I don't want to be wasting time. I want to just get to building the power as quickly as possible. We do have to set up this in the background. So let's just get rid of this. And then we have pretty much almost totally full coal. Holy crap. Just 1 container left with some stuff in it. So what I want to do is get one of these, rotate them sideways, aim it right at the awesome sink. Right about there. Now because it's an awkward angle, I can't really feed stuff into that easily. We could do that though. Just want to feed straight into there. I'm just going to burn all of this. No pun intended, considering it's coal. Toss it straight in there. Start making... I'm just going to get rid of excess resources, and then we'll let the actual overflow take over, if that makes sense. Alright, we've hooked that up to power. And actually, we have a few tickets in there. We've got 2 tickets ready to be printed already. 64,000 points. So we're just going to dump all that coal in there, let it just empty out from here. This one as well, just to be very quick. Organization, personal box. We're just going to make 2 boxes there. Store all my inventory. Pick up this entire thing and dump it immediately. And same with that last bit there. That's the best I can do. So I guess we can put some in here. And I'll just feed in automatically. So basically I'm just emptying that out. That's gone now. So the goal here would be to create overflow from the 2 assemblers that are outputting stuff. So this is our 2 assemblers. This is the compacted coal. And then we want them to go... do we want it to go into a box? Yeah. We want it to go into a box, so I've just got some stored, like this. But we'll create little overflow split off. So we'll go to logistics, scroll down, smart splitter, there we go. Oh, of course I've just thrown everything away. Let's pick all our stuff back up again. We could actually take some of that coal, we're going to need it. Alright, nice. So yeah, just from here, we'll build that smart splitter. I'm just going to add that smart splitter to my belt. Something like that. And then as we did in the previous episode, we'll just actually program it. So out the right, we want overflow. In the center, I've noticed that sometimes if you don't give it a thing, even though it does say Annie, if you don't give it an actual product to make, it sometimes doesn't send things through. I'm not really too sure why that is. So what kind of belt is this? That's a Mark 1 belt, is that correct? We're making 25 per minute. Yeah, I guess so. Mark 1 belt can handle it, so let's just do it. Oh, I can't get that belt now. Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter. Whatever. Alright, that's feeding in. That's all good. So what we need to do is make a merger. We'll make it somewhere in line with this. And then we can change this. So basically, this is sulfur coming in, going into various machines here, but it's also backed up. We make too much. So what we can do is create a splitter here that says, you know, smart split away the overflow of sulfur. We'll program the right side to be overflow. This can just be sulfur. Okay. And just to make sure these work, I'll just cut these and then reapply them. Alright, that's flowing again, and then out the right side we want to merge it. So we'll just send it that way. Alright, in it goes. So that's just a merger. We're going to be merging the extra coal that we're making here also. I suppose if it's overflow, why not have it be the fastest belt? Doesn't really matter at that point. Send that in. Okay, cool. So that's not actually doing anything yet. Why is that? Center is compacted coal, left is compacted coal. Maybe this isn't added up right for some reason. So we should just fill this box. Yeah. So actually I'm going to be a little weirdly lazy, or I don't know what you want to call it, but let's just dump stuff back in here. I'm going to pick up all the coal that's just stored in here. It's waiting. And pop it in here. And that way this one will get backed up first. And that kind of gives us our storage. It's there by default. And now we should see overflow coming out this way. There we go, already. Nice. So there we go. So yeah, we can almost get rid of this area too now. Let's just pick all of this up. Get rid of this box. Say goodnight. And store all of that stuff. Let's just store all of that. That's fine. Okay, there we go. So a little messy in doing it, but that's overflow setup for that one. There's one more thing to add to this area though. So that's sulfur and compacted coal, any overflow. Remember, it's all just overflow. Anything in excess that would just otherwise back up machines is going straight in there. And then that's going into the awesome sink. The last thing to do would be get the same thing set up for here. So we've got 2 boxes full of black powder. Don't know what we'll use that for in the future. You can automate making nobelisks, I guess. We'll just send it along this way and send it into that box as well. Little awkward with the way it's kind of laid out, but just to make things kind of, you know, be done a bit quickly, we'll just be a bit lazy. Build up like this. So that's the right input. And we'll just make ourselves a smart splitter over here as well. So we'll say smart splitter right there. What speed belt is this? This is a level 2 belt, so I don't know. I like keeping the belts the same. Just get the level 2 belt to continue along that way. And then this will be the overflow. That will go this way. I'll just send it somewhere down here and just lazily connect it up like that. It's not that bad actually looking. So we just have to program it to do that. So the inputs here, so we want it to go, the right is going to be black powder, center, overflow, and left, I guess none. Right, so because it's backed up straight away, it's just automatically overflow. Like, overflow is just instant. And this is just a merger, right? So all we have to do is send that into the top of the box here. So in it goes. So now this box has all that coal in it, but it's also going to be getting little bits of silver or sulfur, and obviously it's trying to get rid of all that coal it has right now. So there we go. That's overflow done for the sulfur. Now it should be quicker in all the other places. This one is the most complicated one to do. It's just many overflow outputs. And I'm not doing everything in the most efficient way, obviously, because once we get all these tickets from the Awesome Sync, we can then get much cooler stuff to build our factories, and I can finish factories properly instead of having them kind of open air like this, if that makes sense. So let's get going. So that's 2 things done. Building the Explorer, and our sulfur overflow is done. Hopefully I haven't made any mistakes with that. That should keep the machines powered on as well, and keep things just generally... whoop. There's a spider in my car. Keep things easier to predict in terms of power consumption and stuff like that, you know, because it's not fluctuating as much. Alright, so we're heading down to the steel factory. Those are the extra iron deposits I talked about earlier. Alright, steel is just straight up ahead. Now the steel factory has tons of automated wiring and versatile frames just built up, which I'm just going to basically just throw into an Awesome Sync now, and we can let the other ones just be made in excess. What is with these creatures spawning on my vehicles? Alright, we're here. There's also all these encased beams that we need to dump as well. So again, this is going to be a bit of a lazy way of doing it at first. And then when I get the better materials in the actual Awesome Sync, we can make this place make a bit more sense. Have a bit of a better layout to the overflow of these certain things. So yeah, again, to be a bit lazy, let's just get this box rotated around, turn it there. Gonna get maybe a second one. Hook these up together. Okay, sweet. All hooked up to power, just like that. Now what we need to do is I'm just going to manually do this again. We're just going to dump them in. This place won't have true overflow. Store all of that, store all of that. Look at all this. It's insane. Alright, we're just going to take all of that automated wiring, store it all in here. This should give us a huge amount of tickets. We're currently making 5,000 per minute. I expect that to go up to like 100,000. So what else do we need here? We need the versatile frames that I've left over this way. Now I know these could be used for things in the future, but you know, we're just going to be building this stuff up anyway in the background. And like I've said, I've done it manually, so we're still going to be storing a lot. Just don't want the machines getting backed up. Alright, well there we go. We've got 4 coupons waiting to be printed. So that's this place done. That's all I plan on doing with it. Just, take all of that. Take all of that. So it's obviously, this isn't true overflow, but it's at least saying like all of the stuff we did have in excess, I'm just going to dump into this, quote unquote, for now. You could actually take the steel and adjust that, but this place is probably going to change a little bit, so we'll leave it at that. So that's 2 done. Caterium overflow is going to be true overflow, so let's work on that place next. Oh, actually, I'm not done just yet. We have to throw in the encased beams. So let me just dump this, take all of these beams. We'll just throw some away. I might keep some for myself as well. That's cool, the lights from the car still brightening up the place. Alright, there goes the encased beams. So that's all of our excess products, at least. Not the actual overflow of production lines, but the excess products that we're not really going to use, and they're just about to fill up those boxes anyway, so we're just tossing them all in, getting rid of them. Alright, steel overflow is done. Let's get moving to the Caterium facility, which is just over towards that direction there, as you can see by the compass on the top. Now, I gotta say as well, just want to, again, really do want to extend gratitude and thanks. The support in this series has been really, really awesome, and it's just building over time as well, which is awesome. First episode's up to, I think, over 30,000 views now, so people are just following along and catching up all the time. I do see old comments. People are writing comments on earlier episodes and then realizing that, you know, I've addressed whatever the issue was. So I don't mind people doing that. It's obviously super helpful, especially when people are just giving feedback all the time. But I did actually write down some extra things for downtime moments to respond to. So while we're building here, I'll try to do two things at once and answer some of the questions we've been getting. So one of the questions I commonly get, which is probably more suited to a bit later, but I'll just answer it now and maybe just talk about it again in a moment, is how do I plan out these factories? Because you'll often hear me saying like, oh, it's an 8x8 that we need here and things like that. Effectively what I do is I come into the game, into this save, and I play around with, you know, the foundations themselves. And when I'm playing around with the foundations, I basically get a broad view of, oh crap, what machines can fit on them and how much space we need to make what I want to have happen. So I'll just go out to an area like this, I'll pave out like an 8x8, and I'll be like, yeah, that fits, you know, X amount of constructors and stuff like that. The first thing I do is actually I get a notepad and I work out how many machines I need. So for instance, I've already worked out for the motors how many we need. I've got it written down on a piece of paper in front of, just kind of in front of me. It's a little bit obfuscated right now, but it's basically something like I said, about 60 constructors, something like that, to make the numbers all work out. And that's just because I can check the numbers in the screen, like in the game. I can then do the calculator thing and just work out how many we need to get everything to be balanced. So I do that first, and then basically just go into the game, block out an area which will fit all of these machines, and go, yeah, there we go. And then I'll look at something like the terrain area available where I want to build. So in here, it's all awkward terrain. So I just quickly like lay out the surrounding area, and I write down, okay, the foundations here had to change because there's an outcropping or whatever it might be. You know, for the sulfur factory, it was a really awkward shape. And then I just draw it on paper, and I go, yeah, it was like a little, you know, you just draw the grid out basically. Now you could just do this in Excel or something, probably much more efficient. But I like using notepads and notepaper and stuff like that. And actually on a stream recently I showed it. I showed the pictures and stuff I'd drawn before I'd even done the episode, so you can kind of see how that's done. So it's not I wouldn't recommend doing it my way. It's just people have asked me numerous times, how do I do it? And how do I lay things out, and why am I referencing these different things? So I just thought I'd let you know. Alright, so there's our awesome sink. So what we're going to do here is have an industrial storage facility somewhere like this. And that should just connect up, I think. Is that right? Yeah. Love it. And then this will connect in at the bottom. Okay. So, that's another awesome sink hooked up. Let's check how many tickets we're making, by the way. There we go, we got 11 now. There was a big spike, obviously, and then the encased beams are coming in now. Once the encased beams are done, it'll spike up again as the automated wiring gets fed back in. So this place is actually offline right now, and the reason it's off is just because it is fully backed up. Now, if you remember, when we first built this place, there was too many ingots as well. So we make slightly more ingots than we make anything else. So I'm going to try to get rid of some of the excess product that we have, and also smart split out some of the ingots. So we'll start work with that first. And we just created that hole over there. So that's our goal. That's our destination. So let's go number 8. Something like that. I think a Mark II belt is correct, right? Yeah. Right, so let's say on the right side we want Caterium ingots. On the center, nothing's coming out. And on the left, overflow. So, before I actually hook up the overflow, what we'll need to do is use the conveyor wall mount, which is actually something I think I unlocked from the awesome sink. You need to keep it level with that. So we'll just start right about there, bring it across. So, every couple of gaps, so there's 1, 2, and maybe we'll just put one right next to the wall. 1, 2. Is that right? I'll just keep bringing this all the way along the side. You'll notice my game stutters a bit when we get that autosave. People are saying, oh, you can remove the autosave notification if you want. I actually like to have it there. Just because I know that's why the stutter happened, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I'm kind of a bit confused by it. So I'm totally fine with it telling me that it's autosaving. And obviously, you can adjust the amount it does autosave. But in an experimental beta branch of a game or whatever, I think it's probably wise to have it autosave fairly frequently. I should probably pay attention to the warning more, and then maybe I wouldn't get so caught off guard by it. So let's see, does that hook up? It's got an invalid shape. Well, can we just do this? Really? Maybe this is just a bit too close. Let's just bring this back a bit. Yeah, that works. Alright, cool. Alright, let's extend it along. There we go. Okay, so the plan now is to lift. We need to lift everything out of here. So I think 400 comes into this box per minute, so we can use the best elevator we have to get it out of there. Can we climb this? Is there a ladder here? No, we're up as high as we can go. Okay, it's just hard to kind of gauge. I think that's about right. Looks good to me. And then hook it up like that. So that's obviously weird. So let's just do this. So that's the line. Okay, should be easy enough to copy. So that's the line there. So we'll go 1, 2. And there we go. That's our quick wire, literally just emptying out of that box and going into an awesome sink. But it can't possibly empty the box, because we know that the input rate of the box is 420, I think, and the output can only be 270 on one belt. Just in case, for those who don't remember, this has been fed with 2 belts of quick wire, not just 1, and that's why how I know it'll never get maxed out. True overflow would be putting a splitter somewhere around there and just overflowing, but I'm just happy to do it this way for now, and then we'll get rid of these excess in the smelter. So this isn't the most efficient way of getting rid of your overflow, but I'm getting rid of most of it, I feel like. So yeah, let's just make a belt here. This will go up to the same level. Something like that. And then I guess I need a merger, right? Mergers and acquisitions. So another thing that's a frequent comment is hold control to snap. I'm holding control and it doesn't snap. Okay, I'm trying to snap to the thing next to me. Do you see the 2 lines crossing? So I have been holding control since episode 1. It's never been new information to me, but I do appreciate it nonetheless. I genuinely do. But I just want to let people know, definitively, I'm holding control. It doesn't always work. It depends on the situation. And that's why I showed people a way to guarantee that it does snap is put something down in front of it, and then hold control, and we snap. See? Control. Control on, control off. Control on, control off. And that's doing that because I put something else down it can work from. So I just thought I'd mention that, because it does come up quite a bit. So right about there should be fine. And then I can actually delete this and just build that again, and it should auto snap. That was something we learned in either the last episode or the one before, I think. Yeah, auto snapped in. Just gonna delete either side and just hook these up again. This is a reason I don't put mergers down on belts, because I frequently see that it doesn't. Sometimes the belts don't actually correctly work. People were saying though it has to snap and you have to hold control. It's holding control. Doesn't seem to make a difference sometimes. That's all. Alright, so there we go. We have both quick wire and we'll see the odd ingot going along that line too. Okay, so there we go. 23 coupons. We are laughing. Alright, great. So that is the Caterium overflow mostly done. So let's get out of here. Whoops, sorry. So let's leave this place alone. We'll get back in our buggy. Let's toggle it off. The next one is going to be the copper overflow. That one's actually really quick also. Then quartz. And then we'll get building the oil rig, or the coal rig platform. This has been kind of fun though, journeying around to every factory. Something I was actually thinking of doing when I was... I actually missed an episode, so apologies for that, but one of the reasons for it wasn't because I was doing sweet transit content, it's because I actually spent the whole day figuring out what am I going to do next in this, because things were looking so complicated. I just wasn't sure what I could do. I mock built a recycling center, and I was going to deliver all of the goods, the overflow, into one place by using tractors and stuff like that. Then I just decided against it. I was like, no, I'll just set up actual awesome sinks in each factory. I think it's just a little bit better that way. But I love the idea of having a recycling center. All your overflow getting taken to one place and then divided up either with smart splitters or just all merged into a big belt and sent into numerous awesome sinks. I just thought that was kind of a cool idea. But it's kind of an unnecessary amount of logistics that you don't really need to be doing. But it's more for the fun of it, I guess. And I kind of thought it would be cool. Alright, so I'm just ruining all my factories here by doing this, but like I said, we're going to be getting cooler stuff to build these factories and make them look nicer. Glass, steel frames, all these different things. So what are we looking for? We need another awesome sink right here. Rotate this around. There we go. So what we're going to have to do is create a merger somewhere like here, I guess. Aiming. Oh no, actually we'll need to make it like around here, I think. Yeah, like I said, we'll do this quick and dirty. We'll just use the slower belts to go straight in. So that is basically, sorry to not remind you what's going on here. We have, this is just full of copper sheeting, this is full of cables, and this is full of wire. So I'm just going to maybe take some excess cable, going to take some copper. When I start episodes and I've got stuff already, this is where what I do. I just run around to these places and pick things up, you know. So we need to get a lift that will go like this and then come down and then just join this up. It's not ideal, is it? But it'll work. And let's do the same over here. So we get a lift. We'll build to make this look a bit better. Just scale that out this way. Okay, so everything coming out of that box, going in here, rotating around, being all merged up, and then we'll just use the fast belt to go into the awesome sink. Oh my god, no! Damn, that's the Blade Runner's fault right there, because they, I'm not used to the jump. The jump is a bit more than I expect. Guess I could have just run around the side, actually, sorry. Alright, anyways, we're back. Alright, cool. Let's get that. Let's just do what I did again, but this time don't be so hasty to jump for no reason. Just feed that in and just make sure it has power. I think there's a wall outlet somewhere in here. Alright, cool. That is technically going through the wall, but whatever. We're going to change it anyway. So it looks like we've maybe burned through all of our automated wiring and all the versatile frames. Now to kind of readjust. We were making 400,000 per minute. Holy crap. But yeah, it's going to readjust probably back down to something like 20,000, I guess, maybe per minute. So that's going to be the copper overflow. The last place then is where we're headed anyway, which is towards our quartz and our power out that way. So let's get cracking. Now, what do I need to do? I need to pick up more rotors on the way. And we want to maybe research a road barrier. So we'll do that when we get to the quartz place. Road barriers are great, as many people have told me, because they allow you to kind of free build. Because other things snap to road barriers, but road barriers don't have much requirement in what they snap to. So you can kind of place them first. So, yeah, I think I should hopefully have everything I need. Let's get rid of some of that stuff. Hope so, anyway. I do have a little bit too much of random stuff. Let's take some modular frames with me. I'm going to take also... Don't need that. Lots of rotors. Just to check, actually, what I'm needing. I know that we're going to need... I'm guessing it'll spill over to the next episode, but I need 16 or 12 of these. We're building 12 new coal generators. Seems like I've got everything I need for it. Yeah. And that's really all that we really need. I'm also going to require 4 Mark II miners, I reckon. And we should have enough modular frames and encased beams for that. Yeah. So that's fine. Let's just organize the UI. Let's get rid of some stuff maybe that we don't need as much. I've left some concrete and things out there for me. And some copper sheeting for pipes, which is what we're going to need also. But something that's kind of also going to be needed is iron rods, which you can just steal from one of these machines. This one always gets backed up. Yeah. That's how I handle overflow, okay? Alright, let's get driving. Quartz overflow will be the last one, and then we'll actually check what our... And that rate then on the awesome sync will be consistent. And we'll just be like, yeah, we're just building up tickets in the background. We can look at our beautiful world as we go across. Let's see what other questions I have that I need to address. Oh yeah, 2 things actually. One of them is that, you know, I could have just built a ladder instead of parkour in order to get the actual, what's it called, slug. I did know that, obviously. I think I even said it. But I thought it'd be fun to try and like platform my way up. You know? Doesn't have to be efficiency at all times. Just a bit of fun. Oh, I can't pick that blue slug up. Goddamn. Actually, instead of throwing that away, we can toss it in the back of this thing. Up. Oh, screws. I feel like I need another do I? No, I guess not actually. No, I'm good. But yeah, I don't mean to... Sorry if I came across as arrogant. Obviously, it's not obvious what I might say or what I didn't say or whatever, what I know. I'm aware that I can build a ladder, or I could just put a foundation down and essentially build anywhere and walk anywhere. I do know you could do that. But it just looked like it'd be fun to kind of try and jump across and stuff. I know maybe you could say like, well, hey, you wasted our time because you fell. You know, it's like, oh, okay, fair enough. I got no answer to that. But I don't know, I just thought it'd be a bit more fun to, you know, actually do the... You can clearly see that it was designed to be like jumped across. And it just kind of defeats the purpose if you're just like, oh, I'm just going to build a ladder up there and just get it. But you know, you do you. No judging on how other people play. I'm just getting rid of these because they're sort of unnecessary and they kind of block the path anyway. Alright, let's keep going. So the plan is here, and I said I think a couple episodes ago that I want to build a sort of a, what's going to look like an oil rig right out there. And I've mapped most of it out on paper, and I think my layout is correct. I tested building 2 coal generators on top of each other, and it does work. And I've seen other people do it with like huge amounts of like just loads of them together. I'm not going to be going crazy. I'm aiming to just literally build 12, but it's going to be ambitious for me, especially since I don't have a jetpack. So building 4 or 5 stories high on a sort of an oil rig looking thing, it's going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to try and do it as hopefully fluidly as I can. Alright, so we're just making our way towards the quartz. We're almost there. We're just going to get rid of the excess. This place is rightfully so. People mentioned as well in the comments that this place will get backed up without any sort of overflow. And by having a sushi belt and one of them being made a bit faster than the other, you're going to run into problems. Like a glove. Alright. So yeah, that's true. The quartz crystal is getting made at less of a rate than silica, so silica backs up the entire thing. So here's our smart splitter. We made it in the last episode. So we've already got this pretty much ready to go. Is that what we want? Maybe just push this out one more. Now, every awesome sync we add, by the way, is 30 megawatts of power. So it's a bit of a strain on the power demand. Which is why I was thinking maybe a recycling set would be better, but I kind of worked out that, like, well, it doesn't... Ultimately, you'd probably need this roughly around the same amount. Because the belts would get backed up, and it would just all clog up anyway. Is there a problem doing this? I guess, sorry, just push this back just a little bit further. So just like what we have, input, output, get the belts to flow in there. This is the overflow belt, so we'll just stick this out this way. Send it in. Let's program this so that the left side is overflow. Silica and quartz crystal is already laid out. So there we go, we're already loading it up. Let's just get the power set up. Now our rate's much more consistent, making about 15,000, but sending silica in, and I'm sure quartz crystal will help a bit. The quartz crystal might take a while before we get that. Alright, looking good. So we just have to go upstairs. And then we can hook up an elevator that gets rid of the top level excess. Yeah, so this is backed up as well. Again, silica, even though there's quartz that comes out at first here, I think. It's backed up just because silica, we're making too much of it. It's alright though. We just simply grab this. We go like, hey, what's up? And we do the same here. In you go. And we say out the left, overflow. And there we go. All the excess silica will flow out that way. The quartz crystal will go back into its box. And if this gets full then of quartz and it gets backed up, extra quartz will go that way. Yeah, I think so anyway, right? That seems right. So that's it. That is all the overflow states done. So now we're going to get started on the coal rig, which is going to be a hell of a project. It's going to take probably the whole next episode to do, I would imagine. And then there's another episode after that that we're going to have to do for the motor factory, which is such a beast. Just from writing all the things down that we're going to need for it, it's kind of scary to think about how we're going to do it. Before we do that, let's print off these tickets that we've got. And let's actually spend some. I'm not going to spend too much in this one, but we'll just print off 27 tickets. That's going to give us 30 in total. Love to see it. And we'll just build an awesome shop. Now in the last episode, by accessing silica and quartz, the quartz tree, we've now unlocked the ability to get windowed walls, steel frame windows, gates, tilted, we have all these other things as well, of course. Tier 2 wall outlets. Yeah, I'm going to want one of those. Just to clean things up. So we'll add that to our cart. I want the frame pillar set. And we want the road barrier. And then I also want industrial walkways. So it's kind of expensive for these things, but whatever. So that's 12 tickets to get all of this. So we're down to 18 tickets. I know a lot of people like the painted beams, structural beams. I'll probably get that at some point. I'm not going to be some amazing creative builder, to be honest. I've kind of played around, tried different things, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I need a lot of time, and I'm not very good with like shapes and stuff like that in order to how to build things together. I have an Anno 1800 series, and I can kind of build beautiful in that because the game is really beautiful, and they give you like the buildings to do, and all you have to do is kind of rotate things and fit them together. Whereas this is like, you got to actually make shapes yourself out of other shapes, and it's quite. I'm really impressed by the people that do crazy things with it, but I need a little bit more time before we go crazy with it ourselves. But really, just for the organizational aspects, yeah, we can get lighting and things like that. That'll be quite cool, actually, and light control. Yeah, I'm not going to get them immediately, but I'll probably get them next, and we'll start adding lighting to the various things. I've never used the signs or really seen them. I've seen some screenshots where people use them, but I don't actually know how they work and how you program them to display different things. So that's going to be it for now. Of course, we get other things in the awesome shop when we progress other milestones, so that's why I don't want to burn all my tickets immediately just on the first few things I see. What was just left in this box? Just want to get rid of that. Copper sheeting. I'll just leave it. Come back to it sometime. Alright, well that's the overflow handled for all of these regions. We're just going to head back to the coal power plant now. And then I'll show you what my plan is for laying this place out. And I'll build as much as I can for this episode, and then we'll just continue in the next ones. There's no way I get it done in like 10 or 15 minutes that we have left. And I don't want to speed it up too much. because it is a brand new build. There we go. Alrighty. So the reason I want to expand this area, we've got loads of coal power obviously, but I'm only using Mark 1 miners still. And we could be using Mark 2 and getting way more coal, and that therefore all we need is a bit more. Oh, almost hit that bird. Therefore we just need a little bit more, and we can start more water, and we can start like getting just far more power to allow us to really get going for the next few milestones. So the plan is basically down here I left myself a little box full of concrete and sheeting. There it is. And also as a reminder to start here. So this is where we'll get cracking from. So I'm just going to put down another box and put some stuff in it that I don't really need. We can say, probably not going to use the quartz crystal, don't need the silica, the encased beams. That frees up our inventory a lot, just right off the bat. Maybe just some of these little things that we won't need either. And the tickets. Alright, good. So let's just pick this stuff up. Alrighty, so these were my personal notes. The road barrier and steel frames, we've done that. Check the rotors and the cost of things. Yep, we've done that, because we have all the... Oh, it looks like I'm going to be a tiny bit short for reinforced blades. That's okay. I think I can just get some in between. This is the size of the floors that we're going to need for this build. So I'll try to get all the floors down, and that way that'll be good no pun intended, but good foundation to see then what we'll need going forward. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is just to get my bearings on where we're starting from. So floor 1 is a 9x8, starting there. Let me just cut this one. So this is where we're starting from. A 9x8. So it's 9 across, because I built from the beach last time. I was kind of laying the blocks out at the... So I was standing over there and I basically laid this out the first time. And I was like, yeah, this will work. But I haven't actually tested it and built the whole thing, obviously. Especially with the pipe network, it's going to get pretty crazy. So we'll see. So 9x8. So that's 1. So we need to go all the way out to 8 times 8. And that's our 9. This needs to go out to 7. And that's our 8. Alright, there we go. Next to the waterfall as well. Should be cool. It's going to be a little bit of clipping, but that's alright. Basically, when I see a problem and I'm like, it's just I can't be bothered dealing with it, it's like, yeah, that's alright though. That's not a big deal. Alright, so we've cut all that away. I just realized as well, you can see under these things and see them like sucking up the water and they kind of spin and stuff. It's so cool. Alright, so the plan is to have, I think, something like... oh yeah, I have it written down actually, 6 extractors, that's good. So we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from here, just extend that out, just to give me a frame of reference. Build a lookout tower. And we'll climb up here and start using our railing to do things from up here. And that gives us a nice clean area to deal with. So we can actually take a look at what we just got as well. We have the steel frames, right? We have these. They're basically just pillars. I think they'll look good for this area though. We want to make it look kind of like an oil rig. And then the support beams as well for them, I suppose. Are they any different? They're the same as the ones for the concrete, so I'm surprised it even said new, because it's definitely the same, right? Maybe there's different variants? Not really. Alright, and then we've got the road barrier that we can use as well. And we're going to be using that to actually offset, actually offset where the foundations go, because we're going to pile foundations all the way out to there in a moment when we get to our second floor. Okay, let's begin. So we'll just do the bottom floor first, it's really easy, and then we'll start working up floor after floor. So this has to be right level with the center. And coming across just a bit like that. And then these can just go together. Easy as that. Alright, good. Why, it's like extra laggy out here. I wonder if there's something to do with the water and the transparency. Don't know why can't I build on? There we go. A player's in the way. Well, yeah, no shit. Oh my god, really? Okay. That's strange. I guess it's kind of partially like this is really in the water, so it's a bit messed up. Let's just get another lookout tower and do the same thing on this side. Alrighty, and yeah, let's copy these. So we need 6 in total, and we need them to be in line with each other. Alright, cool. Might color these later down the line, but for now, they're fine. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to hook up the pipes and all of this yet. And I'm going to be getting rid of the side, because they're actually overflowing a bit. But we'll keep these 2 platforms out. Might change them to railing or something a bit later. So, now what I need to do is complicated. And it's messy. Hopefully I'll get it right. So let's just go straight across out this way. Okay. Alright, good. There should be a pretty good frame of reference what to do. So effectively, the plan is... Let's see if I can... Yes, this has to go all the way up. So I just need to make a straight run up this way. And then level it out, I think with there. But then it has to be moved just slightly to the right. So this is where it would come out to go all the way straight, but I need to come to the right. So to do that, I think I need to build a barrier here, is it? And then you can like do this. Yeah. So, okay, let's just do that. But I need to bring the barrier back. Feels like I'm exploiting the game or something. There we go. So that's it. So that's how we get, you know, there's the one foundation there, there's another foundation there, and this is the midpoint of the 2 foundations, right? It's the edge of them connecting. And now I'm building in the midpoint, so it's a way to build halfway across. And we just extend that out to 10. And we don't need these anymore. And this will be taking a belt of coal all the way. Alright, good. And as we can see, it's offset. And that's what I want. I want it to be offset because the way the second floor is going to be built, it's going to have something in the way. But this will be fine. Okay. So that's floor 1 and floor... Well, we haven't done floor 2 just yet. The other thing now that... Oh, shit. These have to be... I built them as size 4. They need to be built as size 1, really. Otherwise, they're going to look very weird. But I'll adjust that in between episodes. And basically, we can go around... Well, actually, I could just do it now. It'll only take a few seconds. Because it'll look cool to see it. I think size 2 would actually be best. So let's do that. And then we'll build the pillars on the ground, which will make it look really cool. So it's going to look like kind of a nice bridge, I hope. Sorry, I thought I was already there. Good. Alright, that's a 2-block concrete thing. Bridge. And then we want to go to architecture, big concrete pillar. And... I think about roughly every 3 we'll put a pillar down. So that's... Let me just get rid of the pillar for a second. Actually, I can do this. We've got pillars here on the hotbar. So 1, 2, 3, and then this would be 4. So this is where our first pillar will go. Obviously it looks weird there, but that's fine, just the one. So then we've got 1, 2, 3, and here. So a gap of 3. One, 2, 3, and here. I think I built that one too far across, sorry. It's kind of in the middle of that road in a way, but whatever. Can get through it. Alright, so something like that. And then 1, 2, 3. It's easier now because there's more room to do this. And that might actually be the edge around there. So there we go. Yeah, I guess it needs one final one. So 1, 2, 3, and there. That'll probably be the edge. Does that come down to the water? Really, I want the edge to be here then. So I'll probably, in between episodes, you get the idea. In between episodes, I'll probably just reorganize this. But essentially, this will probably be the last pillar here. And then I'll make gaps of 3 otherwise. And that'll work out because at least then we leave a gap for the road. Because there'll probably be a road going underneath this at some point. Just get rid of that. But you get the idea. Alright, cool. Because that's going to be the end. And then just the belt will go out. Because that'll look a bit better than having it actually be connected. That way it'll look more like an oil rig. So let's just get rid of this bit. I'll leave that bit there for now, because I'm going to use that to get across. In fact, what I'll just do, just to showcase what's going to be removed and what isn't, we'll color what's going to be removed as metal foundations, and what isn't will stay as concrete. And that way it just gives you an idea of what will be removed eventually. So that's all going to be removed. Alright, let's get building to floor 2, 3, and 4. These are just going to be the foundations. And then in the next episode, we'll start actually laying out what's going to go in between them. And rather importantly with this is the wall here. And then we build a foundation off of that. It gives us a little bit less height to work with. And that should be the height just over the... Yeah, good. We're just over the thing. Nice, it worked. The plan works. I never really know until we put it down. Alright, cool. So this second floor, as I have written on the right side of the screen, is a 9x8 as well. With one so, yeah, it's level with the factory. So that's level with the factory, but it's one wall lower. And that's why I wrote it that way. Level with factory minus one wall. So that's floor 2, 9x8. So basically the exact same size, so we'll just follow that out. This is the middle, so we need to go across, I think, 4. Build ourselves a lookout tower up here, just do it from there. Alright, cool. And we'll just fill that. This is an actual floor. And this is going to be the logistics floor. This is where all the piping comes for the first time, and also where the coal will come in and sort itself out. So, is that 9x8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. Built across either too far on the left side, I guess. Let me see. Yeah. It's alright. Just get rid of that side. Cool. Remember, the metal foundations are going to be removed anyway, so. Alright, good. So that's floor 2. I'm just going to get rid of this little area over here. I probably won't use this side. I'll just build from the other side now in total. This probably won't be needed. Alright, nice. So, this next height for the next floor is just going to be a simple 3 up. 1, 2, 3. And then we're just going to build foundations out. Floor 3 is a 9 by 6. So it actually starts at the same... I think the same rate across, but it just cuts short. So this is 9 by 8. So we're basically not going all the way. We're going to just here. So it's 4 either side. Sorry, it should be 3 either side, right? Let me just see. Oh no, sorry, this is 9. This does go at 9. Sorry, it's the other direction. Yeah, so that's that, and then this come out to 5. So we just need to leave a gap either side. Yeah. Right. Alright, so this is the next floor, and this will just be like kind of a closed loop. Now the reason that it has to get smaller as it goes up is because the stacks from the coal generators stick out. So those buildings are very long, but then they have these big stacks. So the stacks can kind of sit out next to each other, but the long bits will be kind of encased underneath. And that's why, so there'll be generators here, and then they'll poke up, if that makes sense. Alright, good. So that's that floor. That is floor 3. And then we have to do our final floor, which is going to be a 5 by 8. So it's going to be kind of angled the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3. And it's going to come out further. So now we have to do something really awkward, which is try to get up there. So let's just do this. Just to make things a bit more clear for me, we'll use metal just to say like, yeah. Let's just use the railing to get me out. Oh my god, I'm not used to the Blade Runners. It's also really choppy here for some reason. It keeps like sputtering and lag spiking. Yeah, it's like really laggy here. Hope everything's alright with the save and everything. I'll test it in other areas it wasn't. I don't know if it's to do with the water, the waterfall. Seems to be kind of trying to render what's behind the waterfall. Anyways, this will be the last bit of the flooring so we can get done. So this is going to be a 5 by 8. And the 5 is the width. So if this is the center point, which it is, just needs to come out 2 either side. And then it's an 8 across. So it needs to come back out that way. So that's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. Let's see if I've overshot. Nope, this is correct. The edges are the same. Alright, and then this goes over 4. I'll take a moment to step back and have a look at it in a sec. And then for the next episode for building, I'll make like little ladders and stuff to go up here so we can get up and down real easily. Alright, cool. So that's the final floor. Yeah. What a mess. But when we step back, it's going to look cool. And then we'll put in these support frames, these big pillar frames, and they'll look like pretty nice. You know, they'll look like it's an oil rig type thing. A coal rig, which is what I've called it. Alright, so we need coal generators now. So the coal generators in this place, there is a halfway point here, and they need to line up with that. So I'll just put them down just to show you the idea, and then we'll just continue along with the next episode. So again, let's build one of these. Just take me up high, beam me up. Alright, this gives us a nice area to work with here. We can just get rid of that now. One issue I do see is that I've built it way too over on one side. It is supposed to be a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll even it out. So let's just get rid of that. So that's our 5 by 8 with a gap of 2 either side of it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Looking good. So now this will be the top floor as well. So I think, hopefully I got that right. So for power, coal generators, and we need the middle bit. Yeah. So let me just actually build that back out again, just so we can go across this way too. We need to see the middle lining up with the middle point here, right there. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Damn. Okay, sorry. This one side is missing. Well, that side's correct. It must be this side. Yeah, I think so. I'll check in between that I've written it down right, but I think so. I think that's the way I have it. Anyway, then the middle point of this, so 4 on either side, right here. And we just put 3 down. There's going to be 3 on every floor. Just like that. 1, and then 1 either side of them. Now, these things can actually overlap a bit. So I think that's what we want, right around. I'm not sure how much I have to go in. I think it is as much as it can. So again, holding control doesn't really help with these things, so... There. Is that the same gap over each? So the line ends there, and that's where the railing is? No. So we can come forward 1. Just have it be even, because I have collapsed the space in there a bit more than probably should. Right there. Alright, good. Remember, all this metal stuff will get removed. It's just for me to get around and actually build up here. Don't have a jetpack, so what can I do? I am but a lowly pleb. Alright, so that should be pretty good. That should be pretty even. So that's the idea. I'll jump down in a second so we can get a kind of a broader view. Actually, yeah, we'll just jump down now because we can't see anyway. The idea then would be on the piping section. The idea, logistically, pipes will just come feed right up for each one of these things. Something like that. And then I think if we go to noodle, we can make this work. So that'll be the overall idea. So it's going to look really ugly right now. Look like it's just floating in space, I guess, but it's the beginning. So that's the top floor. We're going to have generators sticking out that side, and that'll be our 12 generators. And this is the logistics floor, which will handle all of the coal that's coming in. And then we're going to have conveyor holes on either side of these, taking up all the materials. So it should look cool when it's done, but that's going to have to be it for now. So in the next episode, we're going to build the rest of that, and then get to work on our motor factory, which is an unbelievably big project. But if we just want to check also just very quickly, we can see now what the Awesome Sink is producing for us. This one isn't powered. Oh, we can still see the line though. There it is. So we're at 17,000 points per minute. So if I just, can I connect it up somewhere? just to see what it looks like. There we go. 250,000 points. We have 2 coupons in storage available for us now. Of course, I left like 18 coupons back in the box behind me, over to the left. So we're just generating them passively. 17,000 points. That's what we could have been getting pretty much all this time, and I haven't been. So it's nice to have that overflow now in position. And we have our lovely vehicle for getting around faster. Alright, that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope people are intrigued at the very least by this project and what's coming along. And I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you want to support the channel directly, you can click the join button to become a channel member. Doing so will get your name in the credits, as well as loyalty badges and emotes to use in the comments. You'll also get exclusive access to my Discord, where there's dedicated channels for each series I'm doing, and it's a great place just to meet others and make some friends.